What is up, people? The internet, it is me, Real American Politics, back in with a new video, and today, it is time that we finally do the July edition of the 2022 House Map. That is right, folks. We're finally, doing the July prediction. I know it's been a couple of weeks since the start of July, but I finally got around to do some prediction stuff because things have developed in the past couple of weeks for generic ballot purposes, for fundraising purposes, etc. And I've also been thinking about how I want to do these predictions. It's going to be a little bit different than how I usually do predictions for Senate races and other statewide races. We'll get to that in a little bit. But before I forget, of course, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, and yes, of course, go follow that mysterious Twitter account in the description down below. And also join the channel, I should say, not follow the channel, join the channel. Also, you should sub to the channel. Join the channel. For only 10 cents a day, you can join the channel. You get a good feeling in your heart. But also, if you go for the $5 package a month, you get your name at the end of each video. If you want to join the channel, I think they're a good deal. Click the join button, or also click the link in the description down below, and you can join the channel. I think it's a good deal. Helps the channel, all that good stuff, and yeah. Alright, folks, so let's get right into the House prediction. So I'm changing up a little bit how I determine, margins and stuff. I am not going to predict, if a district should go Republican by 4 or 5 points. Instead, I'm going to predict the percent chance X party will win. For example, all of these seats that are safe, they have a 90 to 100% chance of going the way they're going to go. For the likely districts, that's 90 to 75%. For lean, 75 to 60%. For tilt/toss-up, 60 to 50%. I think this is a better way to do it, honestly. It's just one of those things that it works better. It just works better because predicting exact margins, a lot harder than predicting what I think, the chance of it going this way or this way. And as you can see, Republicans already have 203 House seats that I say there's literally anything could happen and they would still win these seats. And there's 79 that are considered competitive, that there's a chance that both parties could win. There's less than a 90%, less than a 90% chance each party could win these. But again, there's a lot of safe seats because, well, we're so polarized that what do you expect? So yeah, again, on the screen here, this will tell you the exact margins for everything because, or I should say percentage, whatever, and you get the point. So let's get right into it, and let's start with the great state of Arizona. Now, most of these seats I would say are kind of, obvious the way they're going to go because, well, yeah. So Arizona 1, that's kind of an easy one. I really say it's like an 85% chance it goes Republican. Yes, it's a Biden +1 seat, but in this environment, yeah, no. It's not going to go Democrat. Tom O'Hallen in District 2, I think that's another one of those 85%. The only reason that it's not, 100% is because you have a popular incumbent who always overperforms. That's the reason that seat, it's not safe Republican. Republicans will still need to spend a little bit of time, but the guy's dead on arrival anyways. It's just going to be a little bit harder because it is a more, favorable incumbent. And again, incumbency doesn't matter that much anymore, but still, in a race like that, it does matter somewhat, all right? It matters just a little bit. As for Arizona 4, that's Greg Stanton's district. That's a Phoenix district. I really, there's a chance that, Republicans could technically win it. I wouldn't advise spending much time there, though. I think it's kind of a waste of money. Because Stanton is, a decent candidate. He's an incumbent. Again, incumbency doesn't matter like it used to. 10 years ago, incumbency was pretty much everything. Now, we saw in 2018, it doesn't matter. Incumbency really does not matter. So Greg Stanton, in my opinion, is going to win kind of easily. So that's that for Arizona. Republicans do get 2 pickups. Arizona 6, I just that's not gonna be close. If Kirkpatrick was running, maybe it's 85-90%, but no, she's not running. So I think Kirkpatrick will win, or the Democrats will lose that seat easily, and that's sad for Arizona. Republicans get a couple pickups, and I wouldn't advise again spending on a Greg Stanton's district. I think it's a waste of time. So yeah, so we got a California. There, for once in our lifetimes, there are some actual competitive seats. Well, I wouldn't say once in our lifetimes, once in a great while. And we got to start, of course, in California 9. This is the Northern District. This is where Josh Harder is. And this is a seat that Republicans could have a shot at winning. And it's a Biden plus 12.5 seat. And again, you know my rule. Biden 12.5, that's one of those seats that could technically go either way, right? And here's the thing, though. I've heard from polling, Republicans, while they're doing better than expected there, it looks like Harder's going to hold on. And I do agree with that. I think it's a lean margin, probably like, what is it? What was my rule again? 90 to 75% for likely, 70 to, or wait. Yeah, you get the point. I think it's a lean district, 75 to 60%. It goes Democrat. I mean, I'm not against spending money here. It's just if Republicans ran a better candidate, I think it would be an easy flip. But yeah, so that's seen in my opinion. It was an opportunity, but it's kind of too late for that. Now, California 13th. This is one of those situations where I don't want the Republican to win. I don't think Adam Gray, the Democrat's the best of candidates for the Democrats. But when you really look at it, strategically speaking, it is better if Democrats win this district this year. Look, the Republican candidate, John DeRate, he is not going to be good, all right? Let's be straight with that. He's going to be an awful congressman if he does end up winning. Plus, he's going to set back this district 10 years in the electoral part of it, the electoral aspects. I mean, this is 65% Hispanic district, and he's running on, hey, I'm the 30% white. That's not going to go well, all right? And plus, there's some big scandals about him. And on the issues, I do think Adam Gray, unironically, is better. And even then, I've looked at some of the polling data. It looks like Gray is going to win this seat, kind of easily. But again, this is a seat the Republicans are going to spend some time on. If Julia was a candidate, this was an easy flip. It was a free flip. Republicans, however, Kevin McCarthy and them. Why? Just, But yeah, my opinion, California 13. 2024, let's flip it. 2022, I'm hoping it stays Democrat. I hate to say that, but Adam Gray's actually kind of decent on the issues. And plus, John DeRate's not good. Just go look up stuff about him. It's not good. When you really look into it, not good whatsoever. California 22nd, David Valdeo's district. I think this is kind of one of those seats that before the primaries is quite easy who's going to win the seat. Valdeo's it looks like he's struggling a little bit. But I do think his electoral, juggernaut he is in the district, it's going to get him over the edge. I think, he has like a 55 to 60% chance of winning. That primary, though, that's not good. The fact that he struggled with his own base, that's a big problem. And again, I know it's because of the impeachment stuff, but still, the fact he almost lost, yeah, that's not good at all. Now, California 26, the only reason I don't consider this, 100% for Democrats, Republicans are spending money here. So I think it's like an 85% chance Democrats win it. Republicans don't really have the best of candidates here. I mean, I don't know why they're spending money here, but it is what it is. California 27th, I don't think I gotta say much. Garcia, he has like a 65-70% chance of winning. The primary numbers look pretty good. And the only reason that I don't say it's 100% or something like that is because primaries in California are weird with turnout. But even then, it still looks like he's going to win by quite a bit. Hopefully. He's a pretty good Republican. He's one of those people that I hope eventually becomes, the VP candidate. Will it happen? I don't think so. But it would be awesome if you would because he is pretty good. on the issues. California 45th, Michelle Steele's district. I think it's kind of like Mike Garcia. I think she's going to win. 70%. Again, Democrats are going to waste money here. That's going to be the good part. They're going to waste a bunch of money here trying to flip Steele's district. But I do think she ends up winning end of the day. She did flip it in 2016. Or 2020, I should say. I mean, I know it's a bit more Biden-friendly now, but does it really matter? I mean, this national environment's awful for Democrats. But for now, I think Steele does end up winning. What's next? All right, California 47. This is Katie Porter's district. Again, I think Democrats still hold on. It's going to be close, though. It's going to be fairly close. And Katie Porter does end up winning, 60-65% chance of winning. But it's going to be close. She is an underperformer in a Biden plus 12 seat. It's just one of those parts of the country that I really don't see swinging that hard. I mean, this is, where the definition of white coastal elitists are. That's that type of district. Now, south of this district, in California 49th, however, I think Levin may be done. I know this may sound freaking nuts to say, Mike Levin, how do you expect him to lose? Well, again, this is a Biden plus 11 seat, but he's one of the biggest underperformers of any Democrat candidate this past couple of years. I know this is a hot take. I think Levin loses. This is a hot take. I give it a 50 to 55% chance Republicans win it. I have this feeling of the southern districts in California, this is the one that's going to flip. Levin's in trouble, all right? That's what I've heard, and hopefully it happens. So Republicans, end of the day, they get one flip in California. It could have been upwards of 3, but we really effed up in Central California. We picked some garbage candidates. But overall, that's that in California. It's a bit more Republican than the past couple of cycles, but, it is what it is. So next, we got Connecticut. We're going to alphabetical order because that's how I have the notes in the background at. So we're going to start, of course, in Connecticut second. Now, this is a weird one. Obviously, Joe Courtney overperformed Biden by 10 points in Connecticut second, all right? However, this is the big however, I think Republicans have a shot at winning here. They have a decent candidate in Mike France, all right? Now, will they win, all right? Will they win this seat? No. But they do, I think, have a shot at getting closer. I think that's the best way to say it. Democrats have like an 80-85% chance of winning here. I mean, Joe Courtney's a solid candidate. He's an incumbent, a long-term incumbent. And Republicans do have a decent candidate. Now, Connecticut 5th, on the other hand, this is where it gets interesting. So, of course, Hayes is the nominee. That's quite obvious. And this is a Biden plus 11 seat. However, she underperformed Biden against a nobody. And she's scandal-plagued, all right? And they have a well-funded Republican in this race. And this is a weird one for who's going to win this seat. But I do think, end of the day, this is a tough one. I think for now, I'll keep it as tilt Democrat. It could be, more Republican and possibly. But for now, I think that's what's going to be for Connecticut 5th. Oh, Florida, these are kind of easy. We could kind of go through these. All right. This one's going to go likely. It's a suburb of Tampa, but it's trending a bit Republican. That's kind of a easy one, I guess you could say. California 27, same deal. It's trending Republican, and it's only a Biden plus what? I don't think it's that Biden friendly. I think it's maybe, it's actually Trump 0.5. Yeah, that seat's flipping. As for this northern, I think this is Broward County. I think that's what district this one is in. It's another one of those seats that's trending Republican. Florida 22nd. And the incumbent's retiring. So I do think it'll be, a likely district. Republicans will not win it. That would be crazy if they would. But they're not going to win it for kind of obvious reasons. It's a bit too Democrat, in my opinion. Georgia 2nd, if Republicans picked the best candidate, they could have potentially gotten closer here. But this is a strong incumbent who overperforms Biden and is a heavy black district. So Georgia 2nd, I really don't see going anywhere. I mean, again, Republicans pick the best candidate, They could have maybe came close. Oh, I forgot that district. Whoops. Forgot 2 districts. I'm sorry about that, folks. Safe districts. Anyways, Illinois now. Let's start in Illinois 6. This is a suburb of, this is in the Chicagoland area. And Sean Casten is the nominee. Now, if this was Newman, I think Democrats would be in big trouble here. Alright? Especially if you have, like, a Republican like Bailey on the ballot who appears to be Republicans out to vote. Newman may have been in serious trouble. But since Sean Casten won this seat, I still think it's going to be a struggle. But I do think Democrats will end up winning the seat, lean margin, of 60-65% chance of winning here. Nothing much to say here. Now, Illinois 13th. This is a weird one. Obviously, this is technically a new district, and it's a Biden plus 11.5 seat, right? But Republicans have a good candidate here, and turnout there was actually very solid for the Republicans. I mean, this is an open seat, and Democrats had awful turnout. So for now, I think Republicans end up, technically flipping the new seat. Very close, but I do think they have it's technically tilting their way. Very close overall. Illinois 17th, I don't think I gotta say much. If Bus Tours was on the ballot, they would keep it, but Republicans are gonna win that seat. Kind of an easy one, I guess you could say. Illinois 14th. This is Underwood's seat, I believe. Yes, it is. Underwood, she's a weird one, alright? I think she's kind of a weak candidate overall. She's an underperformer. But I do think, no, not likely Republicans, sorry. I do think she still ends up winning this seat. And, this is a weird one, because I did hear, no, this is a different seat. Anyways, sorry about that, folks. But yeah, this seat's gonna stay, Democrat. It'll be closer, but yeah. Illinois 11th. This is one of those seats that, it's a Biden plus 15 seat. This is where Lauf is. It'll technically, not be safe, but that's kind of it, It's like, okay, Democrats, don't have a 100% chance of winning here. Whoopee frickin' do. Don't spend any money here. It's a waste of time. Just spend money on races that actually do matter. Indiana first. It's be closer than usual, but the Republican candidate there does not seem like she's doing that good. So, yeah. Iowa 3rd, this is easy. Republicans are winning that seat. The Republicans have a good candidate there. So it's really not going to be close, at all. So there's that. Kansas 3rd. Again, this is a seat that, became a bit more Trump friendly. It's still a Biden 4.5 seat. And the candidate there does not really, overperform or underperform in Davids. Davids doesn't really, underperform anybody. But I think Republicans here, they're going to win this seat. I think they're going to win this seat this cycle. And I think it's going to be close. I give it a 60-65% chance Republicans do end up keeping or flipping Kansas's 3rd district. As for, let's see here, Maine 2nd. This is another one of those races where I think I may prefer the Democrat in Jared Golden. Bruce Pelican, he's good on trade. That's about it. But I do think with Paul LePage on the ballot, Republicans it's going to be a very close race. I think it's going to come down to the nail biter. But I do think Maine 2nd does end up flipping for the Republicans. There's that. There's really not much to say there. I think Republicans are going to win Maine 2nd. Sue me, I don't care. Maryland 6. This is a weird one. This is another one of those strange districts. Maryland 6, this became a bit more Democrat. Or I should say Republican, because Larry Hogan, for the crap I give him, did his job and got the districts, fixed. Now, David Trone is a weak incumbent. And Republicans do have a couple good candidates there. And a lot of people are giving me shit for this. I think it still flips. I think Republicans end up flipping it. Trone's not a strong incumbent. And a red wave here, that's not that good. So there's that for Maryland. And I forgot Delaware. Sorry, some of these seats I've just realized, oh shoot, I forgot. But yeah, so that's kind of obvious. Michigan 3rd, whoever the nominee is, they're going to win this seat. I do think that a lot of the trends we saw in 2020 in the Kent area, Grand Rapids area, I think some of it was a fluke. I truly do. You look on the precinct data, the Democrats got nearly impossible turnout. That's what happened. I'm not alleging anything, but I'm just saying for now, to be safe, I have it as tilt Republican, potentially lean. I'll just have a lean. So Republicans already take back the House with that. I mean, it is what it is. So the other Michigan seats, they're a bit closer. Michigan 10th, though, I think that's where John James running in. He's going to win that race easily. It's not going to be close. Especially if somebody like Tudor Dixon is on the ballot, they're going to really get the Trump base out. Now, Michigan 8th, this is a weird one because Democrats do have a strong incumbent here. What saves Kildee is his last name. That's what saves him every frickin' time. And this is a tough one. He's as left as somebody like Bernie Sanders in a district that's essentially a toss-up. I think he does. I think he ends up losing, though. I think, again, it depends who the candidate is for the Republicans. But if it's somebody like Tudor Dixon for the governorship, I think Republicans could flip this seat. Now, Michigan 7th, though, I think this is kind of a easy one. Slotkin, she's done. She is done. She's going to lose that race. It'll be close on paper, but really she's just going to get annihilated there. Not very close whatsoever. Minnesota 2nd. Craig's done. Do I got to say anything? She's done. Dead on arrival. She's going to get crushed. She still has a chance technically because she's an incumbent, but she is dead on arrival right now. So yeah, now we get to Nebraska 2nd. Bacon has like a 70% chance of winning. The only chance he has of losing is something strange happening. And I forgot about Colorado. This district here, the wrong one. I think it's going to go Republican easily. It's trending Republican. Still don't know how they did that. The other seat, not so much. So now we have Nevada. Again, one of the dumbest gerrymanders I have ever seen in person. Again, I made videos on how stupid this gerrymander was for the Democrats. And while the primary turnout, kind of proved it. Kind of proved how stupid this was. So, I think the Nevada 3rd, this most southern district, wrong one. Nevada 3rd, most southern district, I think it flips. I think Republicans have our favorite here. Susie Lee is not a good candidate, all right? She overperformed Biden by maybe a point or so. Now, for Nevada 1st, this is another one of those seats, Titus. She is a big overperformer. But this is the however. She was in a safe blue seat that is, she was in a safe blue seat, all right? She overperformed in a safe blue seat. Now it's a Hispanic seat, all right? It's a more Hispanic seat that's a bit more swingy. And what we've seen so far this cycle with Hispanics, districts that have traditionally been more Democrat have been flipping left and right. I think she loses. Now, as for the clown in Nevada 4th, I think this is Nevada 4th, that's Horsford. He has a lot of scandals, and I think he loses too. Some of those scandals he has, boy, they're pretty bad. So I think all of Nevada flips, I think, as of now. I know this may sound crazy, but a lot of these seats they did are trending Republican. Republicans have decent candidates running there. So yeah, and plus Republicans have a great Senate candidate in Adam Laxalt who will definitely help with turnout. So all of Nevada, in my opinion, does end up flipping as of now. New Jersey. We got a couple of New Jersey seats. And some of these seats I really, they're technically not safe because, they are going to be closer than usual, but still they're going to be likely. For example, New Jersey 5th, that's not really going to be close. I'm just sorry to burst your bubble. It's not going to be that close whatsoever. New Jersey 3rd, kind of same deal. Now, the interesting thing about New Jersey 7th is Republicans are winning the seat. This is probably the most scandal-plagued incumbent this cycle. Possibly, quite frankly, in this decade. There's a lot of crap about him, and he's not going to win. He's an underperformer in a Biden plus 4 seat. Good luck. Plus good riddance, because this guy sucks. So yeah, that's that in New Jersey 4th. Now we got New Mexico. I think it's kind of easy. Harold's going to win easily. The Republicans or Democrats don't really have a good candidate. Plus Ron Chetty on the ballot, I think, does solidify her. It does help her, I should say. Now, New Mexico 3rd. New Mexico 3rd. I remember you. You're going to try to burn me like last time? This is one of those, or I should say New Mexico 1st. New Mexico 1st. I am not buying the hype. I really don't see Democrats or Republicans winning this seat. Though it'll be closer because Democrats dummy-mandered it. Now, New Mexico 3rd, though, I think Republicans flip. You know, this is a seat that there's no incumbent, right? Not elected yet, technically. And Republicans do have a solid candidate in a Biden plus 10 seat. You add all of this up, I think Republicans are going to flip New Mexico 3rd. It's going to be very close, but as of now, I do think with the Hispanic shift we've seen, and potentially some of the suburbs shifting a little bit, there's a little bit of this district that's in the Albuquerque area. I think Republicans are going to end up flipping New Mexico 3rd. It'll be close, but it is going to happen. Now, New York. New York. Why? Some of the good candidates that I thought was going to win their primaries for the House ended up dropping out and stuff like that. But either way, I think Republicans are going to make up some serious ground this cycle for the first time in a while. Lee Zeldin's district, lean, especially with him being on the ballot, is going to help Republicans win that seat kind of easily, I would say. New York 22nd, it's safe, but this guy sucks. The Republican there sucks balls. He is awful. New York 3rd, I think it flips. The incumbent there is retiring, Thomas Susie. He's an overperformer, but he's in a Biden plus 8 seat, and he retired. So I do think Republicans will end up flipping the seat. Now, New York's 4th, which is Rice's district, again, she's retiring as well, Kathleen Rice, but I still think Democrats will win this seat, end of the day. I still think they win by a lean margin, or I should say a lean percent, whatever you want to call it. So you got a couple flips here in New York. You can keep going upstates, kind of the same deal. And I think I messed up some of these seats here for a second. Did I mess up? Yeah, I messed up New York 16th. This is safe. I should clarify that as a safe seat. Don't sue me. So there's that. You can keep going upstate, and you realize a lot of these seats, in my opinion, are going to flip. New York 19th, I think, is kind of an easy flip. That's, what is it, a Biden plus 4.5 seat. The guy's retiring. I think he's running for the lieutenant governorship. That's an easy flip there. New York 18th, I think, is another flip. It's very close. It's technically an open seat. So, yeah, kind of one of those open seats that Republicans will have a serious shot of winning here. You can keep going upstate, and New York 19th. This is a weird one because it's a Biden plus 4.5 seat, and the incumbent's retiring, I believe. Republicans would flip that seat if he's actually retiring. I believe he is. So if he is retiring, well, he's gone. New York 22nd, John Katko retired in a Biden plus 7.5 seat. He's a big overperformer, and Republicans don't really have the best of candidates here. They really don't have the best of candidates in New York 22nd. We did. He's not running, however. So I do think Democrats will end up flipping the seat. Very close, but I do think they do end up flipping the seat. I think it's a bit too Biden-friendly, and you really just don't have the best of candidates. Now, North Carolina, these are kind of easy. That seat's going to go Democrat easily. Now, North Carolina first. This is Butterfield's old district. If he was running, I think personally he would have won this seat. Now, I think he's actually running now I think about it. It's weird what happened. I mean, he said it was going to retire, then he didn't. I think Democrats, right now it's very close. Essentially flip a coin. But I do think Democrats, end of the day, they do end up winning North Carolina first. As for North Carolina 8th, this is Bo Hines' district. He wins. He wins fairly easily. I give him like a 78, 79% chance of winning. North Carolina 13th, fairly easy district to flip for the Republicans. Now for Ohio, Yeah, that district's gonna go likely Republican, borderline safe. I mean, this is a district that's trending heavy Republican, all right? And I know it's technically close on the presidential level. I mean, Biden won the seat by 3, but Democrats don't have a good candidate here. And it's Republican trending, so I do think Republicans have an 80% chance of winning here. As for Ohio first, I give the guy a 75% chance of winning. All right, this is a district that I think is going to trend a bit Republican in 2022. It's going to be, not safe, but I do think it'll trend a little bit. I think this is a seat that Republicans have some growth here. As for Ohio 9th, and again, very similar to a lot of these other districts, you have an incumbent running against my man Majewski. Majewski wins. I give it a 65% chance of winning. It's not going to be really that close, I don't think. So yeah, Ohio, there's that. Now we're going to Oregon. We're almost there, folks. Stick with me. Oregon. This is one of those seats that, again, there's a couple seats here Republicans have a shot at winning. Ohio 5th, for example, or Oregon 5th, for example, is flipping. I 100% believe it's going to flip. If Schreider was still on the ballot, he would probably win. He's not. So, now, for Oregon 4th, Fazio is, not running, but it's going to be close, but I don't think Democrats will lose the seat. Oregon 6th, just don't waste time. It's a waste of time. Don't spend any money here. Just don't. Now we got Pennsylvania. Again, I'm going in order because that's how my notes are written. And there are a couple seats here that I think are quite easily decided. For example, Pennsylvania 8th. This is Cartwright's district. This is the most northern district. Yeah, he's losing. He's done. Again, with Mastriano and Oz on the ballot, this is part of the state that Republicans, their turnout's going to be juiced to the extreme. So I do think Pennsylvania 8th does flip. So does Pennsylvania 7th, though I think it'll be a bit closer. It's one of those seats that, you got a better, I guess you can say you have a better candidate here. Or not really. I think you have an underperformer, actually. And this is a Biden plus, 1 seat. So there's that. Pennsylvania 6, it's technically not going to be safe Democrat, but it'll be a likely Democrat seat as of now. Now, Pennsylvania 17th. If Connor Lamb was still here, I think he would have a serious shot at winning. All right? I think he would seriously have a shot. Republicans, I don't know. Their candidate there is kind of weird. And Jeremy Schaefer, it doesn't look like the best, but I could be wrong. But with everything going on, this is a seat that I do think Republicans, end of the day, do end up flipping. So Pennsylvania, you got a couple flip seats. Though I think that Republicans should do better in Pennsylvania, yeah, there's that. Now we have the intriguing one. Rhode Island 2nd. This is going to piss off so many people, but this is the big but. Rhode Island 2nd has a phenomenal candidate running for the Republicans, and Alan Foon. And the incumbent there retired. With all of this in mind, he has great funding, he has great optics, he's doing great in the polling. I think he wins. I think end of the day he wins. I don't think he lasts that long, but this cycle I think he does end up winning in Rhode Island 2nd. Now, Texas. Obviously 15th, that's more than likely to go Republican. Now the other two. Texas 28th. Henry Cuellar, if he lost, this was essentially a free flip. He won, but his campaign in the primary may have killed him, unironically. I mean, he ran, as pro-abortion, I'm true progressive. And you see voters realize, oh wait, he's not this moderate that he claims to be. He's running as long-term post-birth abortion, all this nonsense. I think he ends up biting the dust. It'll be very close, but I do think Republicans do have a competent campaign, or I should say candidate, in Texas 28th. They have Casey Garcia, competent enough. Hopefully Garcia wins. Now, Texas 34th. This is my hot take. I think it votes right. I should say that. I think it stays Republican. Look, Flores has been kind of a disappointment in Congress. I mean, she said some very cringe things. It's like, why But this is the big thing. When you look at the primary data, it actually points to her doing better this fall. The reason being is you look at turnout, yes, it was terrible, but it's lower turnout, which is true. But who turns out in lower turnout elections? Older voters. And these are the older voters that refuse to change their beliefs. They are stubborn as hell. Yet, she won this seat. Younger voters, for example, voters 50 to 64, middle-aged voters, etc., they're more inclined to change their opinion. And that's what we saw in 2020. And I think Flores, end of the day, does end up winning that district. It'll be close, but I do think she ends up winning. Now we have the great state of Washington. Washington 8th, I think, flips. It's kind of not close right now. Now, for Washington 8th, or Washington 6th, excuse me, the only reason I don't think it's 100% as well, it's a Biden plus 17 seat, and you have an underperformer running. And this is a part of the country that I think Republicans should be doing better in. You look at the demographics of this district, it's free real estate. That's essentially what it is. The fact that we don't do better here is mind-boggling, but we just don't. It sucks. Whatever. Now we have Virginia. And there are a couple seats that are, in my opinion, they're kind of free flips. I mean, you look at some of these races, they're just flipping no matter what happens. Virginia 2nd, for example. Get out of here. Just Virginia 2nd, that's flipping. I don't care what people say. That race is not going to be close whatsoever. Luria is done. Spanberger in Virginia 7th, it'll be closer. It'll be a bit harder, but they still are going to beat her. Now, Virginia 10th. Republicans have a great candidate here. Hun Cao. This guy is running a Youngkin-style campaign on steroids. He's been great optics, focus on issues that do matter. As of now, I think Democrats are slightly favored. It'll be very close, but I do think, end of the day, Republicans, will come close. If Hun Cao gets real funding, I think he can win. But knowing the Republicans, they're going to waste money on frickin' the middle of Chicago, for all I know. New Hampshire, these are kind of easy to determine. I think Republicans win one. Democrats maybe wins one. Yeah, let's see here. So, New Hampshire 1, this is a Biden plus 6 seat. I think it flips. I think it's a free flip for the Republicans. It'll be close, but I think at the end of the day, it does end up flipping to the Republicans. New Hampshire 2nd, though, not so much. I think it's going to be closer than usual, but you have a good incumbent who overperforms Biden. So I think Republicans end up losing New Hampshire 2nd, but end of the day, they carry New Hampshire 1st. And that's that, folks. The long-awaited current House prediction. There's a lot that could change. I mean, there's a lot of these tilt Republican, tilt Democrat seats that theoretically could go either way. But as of now, folks, I think Republicans get 250 in the House. They essentially have the majority locked up. They have the majority essentially locked up. They have 216 that are going to go with Republican basically no matter what. They just got to win these seats, and they could potentially make some serious ground. In some of these tilt districts, they could spend some money, and they could seriously flip them. Anyways, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit the little bell, and yes, of course, go follow that mysterious Twitter account in the description down below. And, yeah, also join the channel, and you get some good perks. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed to all of you.